Good morning, everybody. RV Prepper Wayne here. Today we have a 2017 Oliver Legacy Elite 2. This is not your average camper. This is all fiberglass. Every bit of it. Inside and out. Good solid construction. We're going to be adding a Tramec battery monitor system to this. This is going to be fun because there's not really any room to mount anything. Well, the first thing that I did was I disconnected the panels, disconnected the battery, and disconnected power from the truck. That way I got no power into this. I have to do a little bit of drilling. I know fiberglass and drilling. Some people don't like them two words together. But let me show you on the inside what I got to work with and everything. But before that, I have to say, this here, the build quality of this is exceptional. They didn't skimp on quality stuff. This is factory batteries. They use the Trojan T105. 4-aught battery cable. That is some heavy duty cable there. Yeah. The battery watering system there. So they didn't skimp on stuff on this, and that's what I like. Everything's top quality that I've seen on this. So let's go inside. Let me show you the battery monitor and show you how I'm getting access to mounting this. Okay, this is the Trimetric battery monitor. It's the TM2030-RV model. So, what we got to do is get this mounted. But what we're going to mount it at is actually right there. That way it's convenient. Now, to mount it there, this is a two-piece fiberglass construction. I have an access hole here to get in. And for the most part, I can get in to this wall here. But where these two come together, what I have to do is use a long drill bit. And yes, that's about 1.5 feet easy right there, 2 feet. But I have to drill a hole between this one and this one here. I've got a long bit to do that. That way I can run the wires for the battery monitor into the battery box down here. Also, I have to put a shunt in. I also have to put a wire in a shunt. So we're going to have to get a battery cable made for the shunt. So you got to take care when working with fiberglass. Even just setting your tools around and everything, you got to be careful. You don't want to scratch the fiberglass or anything. So, like I said, I've already got the power unhooked from everything. So what I'm going to do is go get the drill, and I'll show you the drill bit that I'm using and the fun reach that I'm going to have to drill this. Okay, the drill bit that I'm going to be using is actually a Forster 1/2 inch bit on an extension. That way I can reach up in there. Now this is fiberglass. Anybody knows fiberglass, when you're messing with it, it gets on you, it itches. Well, when I used to work at the boat factory, we used baby powder. Put that all over your arms. That gets into your pores of your skin. That way the fiberglass don't get on you. Plus, it makes it a little slick. So if it does get on, it slides right off. That's the trick. Otherwise, when you go take a shower and you go to wash that off, you'll feel that fiberglass all in you. This works. This really does help. So I'm going to cover my arms and everything with baby powder. And part of my face. Yep, I'll look like a snowman. And we're going to get in and drill this hole and start working on getting this wire run. Okay, I have the hole drilled, but it ended up in a different spot than what we wanted, but it's still going to work okay. So therefore I know when I do another one of these, the easiest way to do it, and I won't have the issue like what I have now, which is not really an issue. It's still going to work out fine. The wire's going to be hidden and everything. As you've seen, I was using a 1/2-inch bit here, spade bit, and tried to drill up where I could get in between into the empty cavity in here and run the wire up and get in to where I need the thing here. Well, hey, when I drilled the hole, I actually ended up inside the cabinet in here. So I really won't need the wire. But what we're going to do, I'm going to use a wire loom and run it around so it runs up. And then to get access to where I need to, I'm going to drill another hole here and run that wire loom through. That way I can get in here to run the wire into the battery monitor. Just a simple way to do it. If I'd known it was going to kind of work that way, I would have drilled directly from the inside down and did it that way instead of using the long reach bit and fighting with it, trying to get it up in there. That's a lot thicker than what you might think it is. It's double layered, plus there's styrofoam in there, so it's quite thick in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this top hole drilled and get the wire loom run in and the wire at least run in, and then we'll get the panel mounted. But then we got to get into running the shunt. That's where that's the easy part, but we got to get a big cable made. So I'm going to get this here drilled up, and then I'll show you what we got going on. Okay, we removed the all 4 of the Trojan batteries. Them are heavy, about 100 pounds each. But we had to move them out to make room. We have the shunt mounted here. We went and got another jumper cable. We had to get 3 feet for the movement and everything. The wire going in to the panel for the shunt goes right through here. Stainless steel bulkhead. I got that at the boat store. Now all we got to do, yeah, it's a lot of wires. A lot of wires. Now I got to put the batteries in, hook the batteries up, hook up the temperature probe, and that way that part is done. But I'm not hooking the power up for the shunt yet. That is after I get everything else done. Then I'll have to put this in. So I'm going to get the batteries in, and then we'll get inside and I'll show you how I've got the wire run for the shunt up into the top to the panel. Okay, I've got the wire run. I don't have the thing hooked up just yet, but I've got the batteries hooked back up, the shunt hooked up, the wire run and tied up out of the way, mounting box for the battery monitor is mounted. So let me kind of show you what I have right now. Okay, as you can tell, I've got the wire loom that holds the wire back up out of the way. I got to put some sealer up around this hole here and also on this bottom side. I've done vacuumed everywhere where I worked. On here, I've got the control box mounted here, right next to the solar charge controller. Wire run through. And one thing I do on these, I tie a knot in the wire. You can't pull that through. So that's tied in. The only thing I got to do is split this open, splice the wires into the controller here. 4 wires get hooked up, and then to get this screwed in, and then we have to program this for the batteries that we have. Let's go on the outside now, and let me show you how I have the batteries all hooked up now. Okay, we got the batteries all hooked back up and everything now. I got the shunt wired in. I do have to move the shunt forward a little and up because it's not hitting, but it's too close for me. That's too close. So I'm going to move it forward and up a little bit, and that's taken care of. Now, this wire here is the jumper wire that we made for the shunt. I made it at 3 feet to give room for moving the batteries in and out and flexing, so it's not putting a strain directly here in this corner. I've got a continuous loop that goes in there. So that's the only thing left to do on that. That's minor to get that moved and up out of the way. That'll be no problem. I have the panels hooked up. Battery, everything out here is done other than moving the shunt a little to clear the batteries. Just got to go inside and mount the panel itself, get it wired in, get it set for the type of batteries, and then it's all done. Once I have it all finished up, I'll do a quick walkthrough and kind of show you. You've already seen it in the cabinet. She's in there getting the cabinet filled back up. So, but you've seen that. Let's get it finished. Okay, we have it mounted here. Battery is showing 12.7, but this factory one shows 12.5. Now, if you come over to battery monitor here, we're at 12.6. So we know this is not, a few minutes ago, the onboard monitor and this was the same, and this was off by 0.2. So we know this is actually not accurate. This is accurate. I checked with my voltmeter. My voltmeter showed 12.7 as well. So this is right. Now he's got to go through and set all this up for the amp hours of the batteries. I'll explain about how they're wired and the amp hours on them in a minute. But this is all taken care of. It's mounted solid as a rock close by where he needs it for everything to be seen. So let me go explain to you about the amp hours and how they're wired in series and parallel. Okay, what we have is 4 Trojan T105 batteries. These are like what you use in golf carts. They're 6 volt each. They're wired in 2 together to make a 12 volt and 2 12 volts together. They are 225 amp hours each. So some people say, well, I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 900 amp hours. No, you don't. When you're wiring in series, you're gaining from 6 to 12. And then this 12 volt is wired in parallel with this one. So, two 12 volts, you have 225 amp hours here, 225 amp hours here. So you have a total of 450 amp hours. You just don't add all four of these up and that is what your amp hours. It's a little bit more than that. So this is 12 volt, 225 amp hours. This is the same thing. Altogether it's 450 amp hours. Plenty of power for this. This is 2017, so it's LED lights and everything. Real energy efficient unit. I really like this. This is the first time I've done on a full fiberglass setup like this. And it's interesting how it's built. This thing will outlast the ones that's built with sticks and aluminum, with the aluminum frame and everything. This will last a lot longer. I've seen a lot of characteristics of boat manufacturing into this. So to me, I look at it this way. This thing is made to be watertight. And trust me, it is. I really like it. It's insulated good on the inside. It's built excellent.
True 4 seasons.
Yeah, it's a true 4 seasons. So we got him all taken care of. So I just got to finish up a few little odds and ends things on here. Zip tying a few wires back up out of the way. And get it taken care of. Get the battery monitor. No, I already got the battery monitor hooked up. Yep, right there. So it's all done. Questions, comments, please like and subscribe. Give me that thumbs up. And I will see you all in the next video.